you kids in the gym? You guys are jokes. Get out. Let the real fighters have a turn. Brendan, hit her back, please. Please hit her back. Okay, put him on his butt. He's a whip. Okay, you hit like a girl.
Freeze! See, if Daniel had any common sense, he wouldn't get himself into this situation. But if Daniel knew self-defense, he'd be able to get himself out of this situation. I'm Shifu Tyler.
I'm Shifu Brendan.
I'm Shifu Daniel.
And I'm Shifu Kate. And today we're going to be teaching you guys self-defense. So before we get started, as you guys probably just saw, combat sports and self-defense are pretty intense. I'm out of breath throughout the course of these next 5 lessons. So when you hear any of us say Kung Fu, you guys say
Fighting!
Kung Fu?
Fighting!
Kung Fu?
Fighting!
Alright, that sounds great, guys. Before we get started, we want to outline our learning objectives with you guys. That will be central to each of these next 5 lessons. So, our first objective is maintaining safety and a safe environment at all times. This is really a key priority to us, which we're going to outline further in a little bit.
Second objective we have, again, going off what Kate said, safety is the main priority, but we also want you guys to have fun. Stay on task, don't get distracted, but have fun is probably the second most important thing here. Fighting can be intense, so we do want you guys, give it your best effort, but we want it to be enjoyable, and we want you to have a smile on your face throughout our class.
The third objective is to develop confidence and competency in self-defense scenarios, so that if you ever find yourself in one, you know what to do.
And then more specifically, our objectives for today is that we're going to be learning how to throw the 4 basic punches. So that includes jab, cross, hook, and uppercut.
Alright, so now we're going to outline the safety procedure and protocol that we want you guys to follow at all times in every lesson. So our first rule is that you guys maintain awareness of your space at all times. The biggest key element of this is making sure that you have a good space cushion or space circumference around you. So this means that you're aware of your space from each other, from the walls, from any other objects, and from the mirror. So you really need to maintain a lot of personal space, a big bubble.
Another safety objective, always listen to your Shifus, whether we're up here like we are now 4 at a time or when we break off into smaller groups. Listen to your Shifu and the cues they give you, and follow those, and try also to stay on task. I hope that, if you're ever in a situation where you had to defend yourself, your mind wouldn't wander to the pizza place that may be opening down the street, that you stay focused on getting out safe.
Also, please let us know if you have any questions or if you feel unsafe or threatened, and we're all able to help you. And again, don't hesitate, please let us know.
And also, don't forget to use your surroundings as you go through this, as we have these mirrors all around us, just to give us that visual cue as we're going around to be able to correct our form or our stance, or just that visual to be able to help our kinesthetic learning.
Alright, great. Before we get started and actually throw punches, we're going to practice kind of 2 fundamental things in martial arts or self-defense. So if you guys want to stand up, give yourself those space cushions, move around, make sure you can see yourself in the mirror. There you go, really use the whole space. Good, make sure that you guys are in windows at least, so you can see at least part of yourself in the mirror. So the first element that we're going to talk about is stance. So different combat sports have a lot of different stances. If you look at Brendan right now, he's in what's called horse stance. This is a fundamental stance in Kung Fu. Although it's kind of cool, it's not very practical for most self-defense situations. If someone came at me outside on campus, I wouldn't do this. If you look at Daniel and Tyler right now, you'll see that they're in more of a traditional boxing stance. You can tell that their knees are bent, they're more athletic, and they're protecting their face, so they're ready to be offensive or defensive if they need to.
So, starting with the stance bottom up, your front foot should be your non-dominant foot, and your back foot should be your dominant foot. And your front foot shouldn't be quite pointing at your opponent, but kind of off to the side where your hips are facing. and your back is also to at a diagonal to the opponent. And again, you want your knees to remain unlocked, because if your knees are locked, you're going to have to bend them again to explode. So unlocked, so you're ready.
Now I hope you wouldn't defend yourself with your hands by your side, so what you're going to want to do, flex your shoulders at about, say, 45 degrees, and bring your knuckles up to your temple. And what you want to make sure you do here is whenever you're throwing a strike, whether it be a jab or cross, like we're going to learn today, that you always retract back into this position, think knuckles to temple, and you always want to make sure also that when you throw a punch, the hand that's not throwing the strike is also protecting your face and just staying knuckles to temple.
Good. So as Daniel just outlined, we want to protect our face at all times. That's our moneymaker. We want to keep it pretty. But that leaves other areas of our body vulnerable to attack. So it's important that we keep our core tight, because that's another common area that you could receive strikes. So you want to keep your core tight to brace yourself for any possible impact, but also to transfer the power and energy up from your legs up to your upper body. And then in addition to our physical stance, it's important to address the mental stance of self-defense. So although we're kind of teaching this from like a fighting perspective, ideally self-defense isn't about hurting anyone. When you're in a self-defense situation, your first goal should be to neutralize the situation or to escape. So you're never coming into it wanting to instigate a fight or cause harm. But if the situation is unavoidable, your job is to protect yourself. If that involves throwing strikes or kicks or whatever, to make sure that you can get out safely. But ideally, you don't want to cause any more damage than you need to. All right, so you guys are spread out. Good. Before we do an exercise, we're actually going to outline the next key fundamental piece in self-defense, which is breathing and exhaling. So if you look at Brendan right now, you'll see that he's throwing a lot of short, small, snappy strikes. Go ahead and listen to his breath. So you can see that it kind of matches his strikes. His breath is short, kind of quiet, kind of like a hiss, but it is present. He is exhaling. Now if you watch Tyler, you'll see that he's throwing more intense, powerful strikes. Likewise, his breath matches that. So his breathing is more intense, more forceful, allowing him to get more energy behind it. So regardless of the intensity of our strikes, we always want to be exhaling and breathing. So now we're going to do an exercise that incorporates practicing our stance and our breathing. So make sure you have your windows and your space. In a couple seconds, Tyler's going to be our commander. He's going to say, go. And when he says go, you're going to throw your best idea of a punch and exhale as you do it. So we know that all of you guys have different backgrounds in combat. Some of you may have never thrown a punch before. That's okay. Just do your best. Right now, the emphasis is really on exaggerating that breathing and maintaining proper form in your stance.
All right, so everyone got the rim, not going to hit anybody. And on my count, we're just going to throw our best punch. Ready, and go!
Okay, guys. We said exaggerating your breathing.
I want to see you guys go ahead and get this. All right, ready?
Here,
And go!
No, did someone fart? Like, I'm here.
All right, let's go again. And go!
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's better.
A little
Okay, Dennis, can we get one more
We
time?
really want that intensity.
really exaggerated. Come on.
Come on.
And go! All right.
That's a lot better. All right. Good job. So, like we said, those are two fundamental things that you want to keep in mind always when you're throwing strikes. We're about to split off into 4 groups of about 4 to 5 people. You're going to go to your respective corners that Tyler sends you to. Basically, each of us Shifus is going to be teaching you a different station for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to have you rotate to a new station. So you will be moving to us instead of us moving to you. But really keep in mind the breathing and the stance as you go through learning these new moves.
I'm not in my element. And it's okay. It's okay. Because it was intentional with the first things we learned how to yell properly. Like how to yell.
Here, you guys actually come this way.
I'm amazed at like this one. Those pictures are my favorite part of the dance.
All right, guys, let's come on over here. So this station is the cross position. So first and foremost, I want to make sure that everyone here knows how to properly hold a fist. So what I want you to do is to supinate your palms up to the sky. And just roll your fingers back, kind of like you're making like a thumbs up, but sideways. And then just cross that thumb over the flat part here of your second knuckle. So just like that. Important thing to remember here, don't squeeze your hand too tight because that's a good way to lose blood flow, but don't leave it limp because again, the punch will have no power. Important thing also, whenever you get in the self-defense scenario, first instinct should always be to cross that thumb over the knuckle. Don't leave it here or don't go into hooker because that's a really good way to break your thumb on impact. So, thumbs up, wrapping your thumb over the first knuckle or the flat part of the second knuckle. And from here, we're going to go into the stance that we just went over. So, dominant foot back, non-dominant foot forward. We're going to bring knuckles to temple. So the cross punch is it's the second punch in a combo usually. So you throw the jab and then you kind of go a bigger punch with the cross. So what we're going to start off with, we're just going to extend our dominant hand just straight out. And we're going to make sure we're hitting with these two knuckles. So practice looking in the mirror, might want to move over. Just use your face as a target. Throw that punch, try to get your knuckles right to your chin. There you go. And also, there's a leg, there's torso and a leg component to the cross punch. So from here, a natural instinct when you throw this punch is to extend, and you also want to rotate your torso. Let's practice throwing the punch and rotating the torso. There you go. I'm just about to get to that. So also, like Ali said, your back foot is where most of the power comes from. So in this stance, you're rotating your torso, extending your arm, and you also want to pivot onto the ball of your foot. So you can get a jab. Good. Make sure you're keeping your knees slightly bent. Just rotate. And make sure you're keeping that non-dominant, non-striking hand right up. Protect your face. And retract back, so land the punch and snap right back to this defensive position here.
Yeah, so you don't.
Good.
So not like these slatters here.
Do you guys have any questions about the cross punch or how like stance, balance, or anything?
You said normally follow up punch.
Yeah, so usually you throw a jab, which Tyler is throw a jab, and then you put into a cross. Any other questions? So what we're going to do is we're going to go down the line. The three of you that aren't hitting me, I'm just like punching back for this group. Three of you that aren't hitting me, keep practicing your cross in the mirror. Again, focusing on hitting the knuckles here. Using your mirror as a guide. Pretend like you're punching yourself in the face in the mirror. Not literally, but yeah. And then give me your best cross. Try not to hurt me. There you go. Do like 5. There you go.
Breathe like.
Alright, so one thing out, when you pivot, don't come off your foot. Make sure you're just rotating your knees. When you get off your foot, you get forward. And
It's kind of goofy. You're just like
supposed to your best cross. There you go. I'll do it. Best cross. Right here. There you go. Nice. One more. So for stance, like I'm going to pull down like this, or like if you're under my opponent, you don't want to be like if you can face your out. So this kind of goes back to the stance. You want to keep that front foot at a 45-degree angle, and then just like out here. And you also want to always keep your eyes open, so you don't want to like look this way. So keep focus on your opponent. There you go. Perfect. Pivot off that back. Alright, Michael, let's do this.
You did great.
proceed.
Good, I'd say just keep the.
I think that's the hardest thing that I have trouble with. It's just not a habit.
Yeah, you always want to make sure.
I guess like when you throw the punch, you want to be stationary, but before then, are you moving or?
See, I cannot stop using
You were stopping.
Track that straight in the back, right.
That's it.
You guys want another round of the back?
Are you bleeding?
They've been dry.
Don't like.
Great job, everyone. We're gonna have you rotate clockwise, so 2 4 right.
So over here we're learning the foot. So over here we're doing the fist with you guys, 4 fingers curled in, and then with your thumbs and the flat part of your second finger. Good. So with the hook,
So the cross is kind of like.
you're standing in your defensive stance. And so we're going to start with the front hook where you kind of drop your arm, you take a 90-degree bend at your elbow. You're generating the movement from your hips. So you're going to want to drop this arm over your shoulder. Not striking your elbow your time. And you're going to twist your torso in a way that generates power into the punch. So this is a direct punch or a non-linear punch where your fist moves in the front. So you're hitting them on the side, so like the temple, your chin, south the torso. And you're also going to want to pivot on your front foot. Yeah, so arms up.
And you guys can use them here as guides. Take like
This shoulder. Now you can go better. Twisting your body into it. Yeah. So this is like rigid. So it's like stiff. And then swing your body into it. Yeah. So with your other side. So you guys learned the cross just now, right? Yeah. It's the same footwork as a cross. Where you kind of back. So again, generating power from your foot, leg, hips, all the way up to your arms. So you're gonna open your shoulder up by dropping it. And then you're gonna swing it.
three of you that are hitting me, keep practicing in the mirror.
And also, another thing to keep in mind is that after you strike, you want your arms to snap back into this position. So you don't want to lag behind. So you don't want to cross and just leave it back. Come back. You're going straight into a punch, and as soon as you make contact, you're going back into the defensive position. Got it? Going straight? Yeah, it's done. Just back.
It's good too.
Which one, outside or inside?
Either one, just go for it. Yeah, there you go. Got it. That's looking good. Keep your arms up. Yep. That's looking good. Okay, so for you, you're pulling your arm back too much too. So it's more about just drop it. Just drop it right here. You just swing.
Good. I'm a forward sport guy, so not as much of a rotation. So the rotation is a little bit hard.
It just feels weird.
It's just different. So I'm trying to get a handle on it.
Alright, so you guys can use the mirrors checking your own form.
You kind of like twist back.
Yeah, so maybe just a little bit. Not too much. So you don't want to let go. Yeah, so
Don't. Yeah, I feel like we were like do this long term.
yeah, so keep guys can pair up actually. So for this, so if you're receiving the punch, punching across, so their right hand should be good. And as they strike, you want to tap back a little bit, so your arm doesn't go like that, because that's super good. So if you guys pair up and try it all together.
Which one are you guys?
So you're gonna hold it
Do it inside or outside? Well, because like, if you're coming on this arm, I do this.
Yeah, I heard.
I don't know,
That's fine. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. So you keep the stance no matter what.
It might be because you have
Yeah, there you go. Got it. Keep your other arm. Got it.
This one better.
Yeah? It feels more natural to you? That's looking so. Alright, feel free to switch arms or switch.
This is gonna be a bit. I'm glad now we're rings. Like, no.
Nice. Looking good. Try to up your intensity.
Destroy my hand. Good.
So your left arm go.
No.
So your stance would be left foot.
Like, switch arms?
Yeah, so your stance doesn't change.
Oh.
Yeah, your stance doesn't change when you switch arms. So when you're striking with your non-dominant arm, you'll switch to this.
Sure.
If I like give you a little bit of.
Yeah, you give me a little bit of force back. I'll start this way.
Just hold it higher since it's
It's kind of weird. Yes.
It's kind of weird.
Make sure you don't drop your arm.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the hardest part, like, is that habit.
Yeah, I know. It's really weird. Like,
I'm struggling with it.
in MMA, it's like
So,
weird.
okay. Say
Okay.
I grab, and then I cross. Well, if I'm moving forward, is that kind of just like an
Good intensity. I like that.
It's got great intensity.
Go drop your other arm, Michael. Come on.
Does it stay? So does the arm, like, when I'm turning, do I rotate this arm and keep in the same position?
Like, I guess, do you have glasses though?
I've had glasses.
It's kind of like
Great job, guys. I'm gonna have you rotate clockwise once more. Come on over, guys. So you guys just learned a hook, if I'm correct, right? Yes. Alright, I'm about to teach you guys an uppercut. I'm just going to check your fists. I know you already learned, but it's really important that you guys have proper fist formation. So let me check your fists. Alright, that looks great, guys. So if you want to spread out facing the mirror, make sure that you can see. You can move this way because there's the wording. It's kind of weird. Alright, so like I said, you're going to be learning the uppercut, you're going to be learning your lead and your rear. So you're left to right. To start, are we all right-handed? Yeah. So we're going to assume our stance. Good, good. So important thing is using the mirror, as I'm sure you guys have learned. An uppercut is a curvilinear strike, so it's not linear. It's similar to in that way. So usually your target is going to be someone's chin or someone's stomach. So I want you guys to use the mirror to imagine your target. Use your height to kind of manage that. So we assume our stance for an uppercut. We're going to start with our lead, which is our left. So we're going to be using our chin as our target right now in the mirror. I'm actually going to go ahead and face in the mirror with you and cue you through the mirror. So go ahead and spread out. So I want you guys to imagine that there's a glass table where your chin is. So I want you to imagine that you're going to dip under that target and break through that glass table. Good. And really emphasize that breathing anytime you throw a strike. Good. Good. Make sure you're throwing your lead, your left. Good. Good. So we're all kinesis majors here. We know that power doesn't just come from the body. So we're going to incorporate footwork into this. So as that fist dips under your target and starts to come up, you want to pivot onto your left ball of your foot. Go ahead and practice that. Good. Really breathe. Good. Couple important things. We want to make sure that this opposite hand stays up protecting our face while we throw the punch. And we want to recover quick. So once we hit that target, we want to return it back to our temples, and we want our feet to return back, so our heel to return back to the floor. Good. So on my command, we're going to throw a couple to practice. Go. 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 Good. That looks good, guys. So now we're going to work on the rears, which is basically the same thing, just a little different. So because it's our rear, it's a bit further from the target, so we're going to dip out a little bit more. So we're still going to dip under that target, but we're going to reach forward a little bit more to do that. So go ahead and practice throwing that fist.
We got, so
Good,
this
really
is top,
break through that glass plate.
and we're gonna add, so one person shadow box in there, and the other two jab.
So likewise, this side has footwork too, of course. So as that fist dips under and starts to come up, we want to pivot onto our right.
Reverse, aim wherever you want,
Go ahead and practice that.
but then after a while, I want you to try for different heights.
Same thing, we want to recover really quick with the fist, and then return that heel to the ground after. So on my command, we'll practice a couple. Go! 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 Alright, that looks really good. I'm going to have you three practice at your own pace in the mirror. Practice to your side. You're each going to get into the gloves, which would normally be mitts, but for right now, these are going to do. Alright, so go ahead and practice at your own pace in the mirror. Let me know if you have any questions. So we're going to start with the lead. You get in stance. Like we said, you're going to be aiming up on that target. So you're going to kind of hit this pink part of your glove. And take it easy. It's you kind of want to go intense when you're hitting something, but it can be a little hard on your knuckles. Yeah. Take it easy. Go ahead.
Come on over here, you
Good. Up higher. Good. Good. One more. Good. All right, so now we're going to do the rear. There. Same thing. It's like frontwards. Good. Good. Make sure in between the hips. Go. Good. Good. Two more. Good. Nice. That was really good. Thank you. Go ahead and shadow box.
And then we're gonna hop too. As you're coming in, you never
We're
know
going to start with that lead with that left. So you're going to aim for this
where he's
pink
gonna
part.
be open. So try doing it right in your grab,
Make sure
the
you're
lowest stomach. You never know what's gonna be able to
Get into it.
be comfortable. It's the music.
Same thing. Emphasize that switch a little more.
Yeah, that's great. Take a little time, make sure everything's on the line. Keep practicing.
Alright, so go ahead and keep shadow boxing. Good. So we're going to start with your feet. You're going to aim for the top part of the glove. Go. Good. Good. Really emphasize that pivot on that. Alright, same thing, but we're going to do this now. So you're aiming for this part of the glove.
I know it does.
Good. Good. Really emphasize this. And you want your knuckles to end facing the mirror. Right now they're a little sideways. Facing with, yeah, like that. Go. Good. Go. Good. Alright, go ahead. Your turn, Mike. So we're going to start with that lead, your left. I'm going to try and hold a little high for you since you're taller. You're going to aim for this pink part of the
Okay.
Go. Good. 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 Sorry. Awesome. Here, two more. Good. Alright, same thing, just rear now. Aiming for this one. Go. Good. Good. Good.
Bob?
Hey guys, how you doing? What cross? Yeah. Alright, so Bob, you guys can show me. You guys did your fist there. Yes, it. Perfect. Good. Don't want to break any thumbs here. For this, we're gonna be learning the jab over here with this punch. It's a quick, explosive movement. It's gonna be with our leading limb, which for most of us is gonna be our non-dominant hand. It's gonna be quick, explosive. We're gonna track back. With this punch, this isn't what we're looking, this big haymaker to knock somebody out. This punch is more used to daze our opponent or stun him to be able to then land something bigger. So with this, if you guys want to all get into your stance here, what we're going to do with our leading arm is we're going to extend that elbow, point our palm down. You don't want to punch like this. We're going to pronate, quickly retract back into this position. Here, you don't want to lag this arm out, leave yourself open for something. You want to come, quickly go back into defense. And as we're doing this, we want to emphasis on trying to connect with these two knuckles here. That's what's going to do the most damage. A lot of people think as you're punching, you're kind of aiming for this whole surface or even these knuckles, but as we go, you want to follow through with these two knuckles here. But it's not just an upper body movement. I'm not just standing here and doing this. We're also going to step out with it and quickly retract both as well. So as we have our jab, it's going to be... If you guys want to give that a couple tries, get used to that movement. Good. And make sure we keep those arms up by the temples as we punch and quickly come back there. Looks good. If you want to come set up over here, we can do it in the mirror a couple times. How do you guys see your form? Just right here, so we got some space. Everyone wants to get in their stance, practice that jab a couple times. Good. Focus on that exhaling as we go. Looks really good. We can come back here and we can practice on some actual stuff. So we have a group of 4, and I have Bob in the pad. So if 2 of you guys want to go, just practice your shadow boxing in the mirror, and 2 of you guys come over here, and we'll just rotate, get everyone through working on these. Yeah, one of you guys on Bob, one of you guys right here. We're just going to be practicing.
Bob.
Yeah, you guys start your stance. Good. Focus on getting that right distance away.
Where do I hit them?
So with this, wherever feels comfortable, you can start just going directly out. Once you get to the point, if you're in a fight or any kind of self-defense, you never know what's going to be open. So then I want you to practice going to the face, going lower, kind of getting comfortable with all the defense.
Good. Good job, guys. So I'm going to have you 3 practice in the mirror. Practice to the side at your open.
Focus on that exhaling as you go out. Good.
You're each going to turn to hit on the gloves. Make sure you miss. But take a break.
Good, yeah, no, take a break.
Go ahead and say guys, I'm pause from here. Sure.
Switch it up.
Good. Okay.
Beginning first. Okay, so when you get into that fist, roll these fingers up. Good, and we're going to put that in front. And focus on, I think what you're doing is you're punching, you're kind of just ending up at this angle, and you're hitting here first. Try to get that palm straight down. So that these knuckles lead. Yeah.
That's looking good. Make sure you do that.
Good. So I'm not exhaling as we go.
Put this glove down. Go.
Nice. And then we'll rotate here. Michael, you guys want, Amanda, you want to come over here? Starting to feel the hands. Yeah. One of you guys wants to go on Bob, one of you guys on me. Okay. Alright, we're just going to be practicing those jabs.
Can we switch sides too and try other sides?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and just kind of figure out what distance away you need to be as you take that step forward. Good. Oh, I like that. Good. I like that. Keep focusing on those breathing.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I feel like
Take a breather if you need.
like I'm kind of moving around, and then I have a hard time moving forward and punching at the same time. Do you have any tips for like footwork?
Yeah, kind of if you want to focus on putting your weight on your back limb, that's what's going to be able to give you that quick burst forward for your jab to come back. So even if you like bouncing around and stuff, just keep that weight on the back foot. So then it's if you guys want to take a little breather, you guys can switch, try the pad, try the bob. I want to focus on getting different heights here. You can go up your face, down to the stomach.
The step is. Let me just try and do it just standing.
Yeah, let's start there without the movement, and then we'll.
Yeah.
Fighting! Kung Fu!
Fighting!
Alright, that was great, you guys. If you want to all come together and gather in the center facing the mirror, we're going to come together again as a big group. Alright, great job, everyone. Those were some difficult punches that you learned, especially the hook and the uppercut. You all did really good at learning the uppercut. That took me a really long time to learn. Overall, I think you guys did really good. What do you guys think?
Yeah, a lot of improvement in the cross.
Yeah, just for 5 minutes. So even with the opposite dominant hand.
Really good. So, just to review, what you guys just learned was your jab, your cross, your right and left hook, and your right and left uppercut. We're going to do an exercise now that kind of incorporates all of them together. So we'll be throwing all of the punches. So if you guys want to go ahead and spread out again, make some windows facing the mirror. Good. Tyler's going to throw out commands. So instead of go, he's going to shout the name of one of the punches you just learned. It's important to note that jab and cross will be cued as jab and cross. But for our uppercuts and for our hooks, he's going to say left or right before. So either left hook, left uppercut, or right uppercut. So make sure that you listen. It's not about speed or doing it the quickest, but it's about making sure you throw the correct punch. So go ahead and listen to Tyler's command.
Make sure you guys spread out, not going to hit anybody.
Do your best to see yourself in the mirror.
Alright, ready, and jab. Jab. Cross. Cross. Left hook. Right hook. Left uppercut. Right uppercut. Jab. Jab. Cross. Cross. Left uppercut. Right uppercut. Left hook. Right hook. Good. That all looks really good. I just want to say as you guys are doing it, focus on keeping your other hand that you're not punching with up by your temples to protect you. And now I'm just going to be saying randomly, and you guys got to keep up and follow the combos as we go. It's not going to be just in sequence order. Alright, ready, and jab. Right hook. Left hook. Right uppercut. Cross. Jab. Jab. Hook. Right hook. Oh my God. Left hook. Cross. Jab cross. Jab cross. Left uppercut. Right uppercut. Jab. Cross. So Patrick's looking really good. He can come up and.
I want you to do it with us facing the other students.
You got it.
Don't mess up.
Don't mess up.
Do your best. Alright, everybody get in that defensive stance. Ready, and cross. Jab. Cross. Right hook. Left hook. Right uppercut. Right uppercut. Jab cross. Jab. Right hook. Left hook. Right uppercut. Left uppercut. Jab cross. Right hook. Left hook.
That looks good. All right, Patrick. Good job. As you can tell, it's a bit more difficult when you incorporate all of the punches, especially when you have a moving target too, but we're going to get there. You guys should be really proud. You learned a lot today, but based off of everything you learned, you guys have Any questions at all about what you learned or what's to come? Any clarification you want, anything like that? All right. How many of you guys have never thrown a punch or never had like a self-defense lesson? All right, good job. How many of you guys learned something new that you didn't know before? All right, cool. Did you guys have a favorite thing that you learned or a favorite punch? Anyone?
Cross.
Yeah. Were any of them more difficult for you guys, or did you just not enjoy it as much?
The hooks were hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are tricky. Yeah. Well, yeah. go ahead.
I feel like the jab's difficult because I want to use this hand more than this one.
Yeah, that's really common. It's interesting, we taught you guys what's called an orthodox stance, but there's something called being a southpaw, where your dominant side is actually in the lead, so your jab is your more powerful arm. So a lot of professional boxers will do that, so they have a more powerful jab, and they're starting with that dominant arm. So, yeah. Any other questions, comments, observations? All right, well, great job. Thank you all for a really fun class. Thank you for your high intensity and your great energy.
Come on over, quickly, come on over. Got two.
If not, I have extras. Patrick.
Well, welcome everyone to Enthusiastic Exercise for the Elderly, also known as E. We'll get started here in 2 minutes. We're just waiting for the other two coaches to show up. Here they are.
Oh no! Help! I can't. My little fall response isn't working, and I can't get up.
How did you do that? Here, swing your legs around and get on all fours.
But I'm frail.
You can do it.
Not all fours.
Get on all fours, yeah. Then put your dominant leg in front.
On the outside?
Yes. And then put your opposite arm on that leg. This has got it.
Challenging.
Now place your other arm on top of that and push up.
Good job!
I'm an independent person. Welcome to our class. I'm Caroline.
I'm Allie.
I'm Taylor.
And like he said earlier, I think before we got here, is that this is an exercise class for the elderly. So welcome. We're so glad that you're here with us today. Before we get started, I would like to make the disclaimer that we are so aware that many of you have joined this fitness class as the elderly population without much experience in the movement domain. So as a disclaimer, we would like to say if you at any point feel off balance, don't think you're capable of doing one of the exercises, please flag one of us down and we were more than willing to assist you with whatever we can. There will also be modifications for some of the exercises. Today, there aren't as many that we don't think you'll need modifications, but there are some available. And with that, I would like to ask you guys just kind of a broad question. What motivated you to join this movement class for the elderly? Are there like things in your personal life that maybe got you inspired to join this class? Or
My grandkids.
your grandkids? Okay.
My back hurts a lot.
Back hurts a lot. Yes, that is pretty good reason to get moving again.
I recently had hip surgery, so
There you go.
coming back now.
So,
I want to walk my daughter down the aisle.
those are all really reasons, and some good reasons as to why a lot of us want to get up and moving again. So I commend you all for being here today. And in this program, it's a 5-day program. The first day, today, we're going to be working through range of movement. The second day is flexibility, so that will be on Tuesday. The third day, we're going to be focusing on balance, because that is something that tends to become iffy over time. And the fourth day is strength. We're going to be getting stronger. And the fifth day, the 5-day, we are going to kind of tie it all together and do an aerobics class with you guys.
I just want to touch on our objectives for this 5-class series here at E. So our first one is to teach you how to get up from a fall. We know that maybe some of you here have found yourself fallen and, like Caroline, don't know how to get up. Or maybe some of you did know how to get up. So we want to ensure that all of you are able to get up if you find yourself in that position. So that's our first objective. Our second objective would be to increase your confidence in your ability to perform your activities of daily living. So we want you to walk your daughter down the aisle, chase after your grandkids, and recover well. So that's our second objective. And our third and final objective would be to cultivate a motivation for you all to maintain movement. We know that you might be feeling more aches and pains and tightness that you didn't experience in your younger years. So rather than that discouraging you, we want to provide you with some alternative exercises so that you can stay motivated and keep on moving. With that, Taylor is going to go through a pre-assessment.
Perfect. So I'm going to take you through a PAR-Q. Who's heard of a PAR-Q? Perfect. So PAR-Q stands for Physical Activity Readiness Questionnaire. And if you guys please don't mind asking sounds, but no. So essentially, this is important in the elderly population because it helps screen for any underlying health issues that any of you guys might have. All the questions are kind of are there to uncover any potential health risks that do happen with exercise. The most serious health risk being a heart attack or any other sudden cardiac output or any cardiac disease that does happen. Perfect. So if you guys don't mind just filling these out as honest as you possibly can. Alright, now we're going to kind of get you guys through a little warm-up, so I want you to follow Allie around the classroom or the gym for about 10 minutes.
I'm going to walk behind you. Come get in a line. And let's start moving.
A nice, slow
We're going to
walk.
start at a nice pace. If I get going too fast, just let me know.
And if you guys feel uncomfortable at all at any time, please let one of us know.
How's this speed working for everyone? Okay. You guys are doing great. Make sure you're focusing one foot in front of the other. We don't want anyone falling. And really good job. I forgot. I go count and I deep out. Keep breathing.
My dog's gonna be so proud of me.
He is.
Alright, now Allie is going to ramp it up a little bit.
Hey, ready?
Oh man.
I know.
Oh no, I'm not. You gotta get that heart rate up a little bit. What's that, man?
My heart rate is
Take your time. Great job. Do you think I could step it up one more notch?
No.
Let's do it. A little bit faster.
Allie, this is like next.
Everyone feels good, right?
You guys look great.
You can do it.
Don't worry, guys. You only have 15 more seconds.
18, 19, 20.
Now look down.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
How does everyone feel after those? Loose. Perfect. Now we're going to do neck circles. So everyone go counterclockwise with your neck.
If circles are too much, you can just do kind of half circle rolls, okay?
Don't overdo it with yourself. Don't want anyone to overdo it. Hey, don't hate.
Guys look great.
No. 2 more circles.
I feel like one of those teen pop stars.
All right, now everyone, we're going to do our shoulder circles. So everyone, arms out, and then do nice kind of medium-sized circles. I don't want like huge waves or little swamp. It's just nice.
Make sure you have
controlled.
enough space.
And if you don't have enough space,
Just turn.
yeah, turn. There you go. Everyone feeling the burn yet?
Yes.
Oh yeah. All right, now reverse it.
It's just warming up the shoulders and the arms a little bit. Getting blood
Burns.
flowing and moving.
Feels good. It's a good burn, right? All right, and lastly, we're going to march in place. So arms at the side, I'm just going to march in place right now.
Well, whatever pace works for you.
Nice high knees. Yes.
There you go.
I feel like you've been in the military.
They're using the
past.
service. 40 years.
World War II.
And if balance is an issue for you guys, start by engaging your core, and that'll help keep you guys more centered while you take your steps.
Man, what's the core?
Your stomach. So keep your stomach tight. Thank you for asking.
I know what those things.
Any other questions about this?
And now, let's throw in the arms. So we're really marching. So keep marching and throw in the arms.
Like now.
Yeah. It's a whole body warm-up here.
You're gonna want to do opposite arm to leg. Yes, great job. Perfect.
Track off.
Here, you need some help?
Okay, guys.
As high as you can. Just get the body moving. As high as you can.
It's okay. You too. All right, you guys are good with that, and we are going to go now to our range of motion series.
So the first exercise that we're going to take you guys through is a pretty simple chest stretch. And so we're going to start this by keeping our feet kind of right under our hips. And starting by engaging your core, which thanks to Allison, I'll clarify, is just keeping your stomach tight so that we have our balance in the center of our feet. And then we'll take both of our arms and reach behind us. And this will kind of open up our chest a little bit, just like Allie and both Taylor are doing. And then if you do have the flexibility, you can go ahead and clasp your fingers and then push behind you. But if just reaching behind you is enough of a stretch, then you guys can stay there. So we'll hold this for a little bit.
Any questions before
If
we?
you want a deeper stretch, yeah, go ahead and push.
Let us know if it hurts anywhere or if you need help. Any questions?
Let us know if you feel the stretch anywhere but your chest.
Yeah.
My hamstring. This one.
Oh, guys.
And you can go ahead and shake it out a little bit, and then we'll do it one more time. So reach behind, keep your chest open, stomach tight, and then breathe.
Maybe try to challenge yourself to lace your fingers together if you didn't last time. But no pressure.
The stretch is also called the swimmer's stretch, so if any of you in your younger days were swimmers, this might, be a good throwback for you. And it also helps us improve our posture. So I noticed a lot of you guys, when we're walking, we're kind of hunched over a little bit. This kind of opens up our shoulders so that we can remain in an upright position. All right, everybody shake that out. The next exercise that we're gonna do is a shoulder exercise. So everybody raise your right arm and reach across from you as far as you can. And with your left arm, go ahead and support your right arm with your hand. And you can go ahead and pull that across you as well. And we'll just hold this. It looks like everybody's doing pretty good, but it's important to keep your right arm that's being stretched in line with your shoulders. This maximizes the stretching in our different shoulder muscles. So we'll go ahead and hold this for a little bit.
Is it better to hold it with your hand or like hug it? Like
Whichever is more
I've seen-
comfortable for you.
Yeah, whatever's the easiest. Where should I be feeling this? Right, you should hold it right in your belt. Yeah. Posterior belt right here. Is that where you feel it?
Does everyone kind of feel it right here?
Right in your shoulders.
You don't feel it, that you can push it a little more.
You can go ahead and let go of that one.
Always put it in the fly.
And now everybody raise your left arm. And we're going to do the same thing. So reach across your body and hold it with your right hand.
You guys look great. Good job. Any questions or discomfort?
Okay. And move on to the next one.
Perfect. And now we're going to do a wrist flexor stretch, which kind of looks like this. Why are we doing this wrist flexor stretch? Because, how many of you guys like to do your crossword puzzles, Sudoku? Yes. Perfect. Brian as well. Who also likes to write to their grandkids? Those nice long letters that you do? Yeah, perfect. Or type on the computer like this. Well, all that motion kind of shortens your flexors. So we want to be able to lengthen our flexors so that way we can prevent cramps. And how we're going to do it, even though you guys are already doing it well, we're going to extend our arm, our right arm, palm facing up, and we're going to bend our hand towards the ground. And then we're going to grab our other hand and force the bending down to about a 90-degree angle or to where you feel comfortable. Some people will go a little bit farther. I can't see how far Allie's going. Looks like she's going pretty far. Looks like Patrick is going far. Patrick, you want to put your hand up a little bit higher? There you go. We're just going to hold that for about 30 seconds, and then we're going to switch sides.
If you need to release and do it again, feel free to.
Shake it out a bit.
Yeah. Okay. And now we're going to do it with our left hand. So everyone extend your left hand, palm facing up, hand towards the ground, left hand towards the ground. Perfect. Everyone feels good? No discomfort? Everyone's happy? For the most part? A bird.
Is there any discomfort? No?
Perfect. All right, you guys, and now we're going to be doing a side bend stretch, which kind of looks like this. And with this, it kind of stretches our obliques because when we want to pick up our grandkids, what do we got to engage? Our obliques, which is part of the core. That's one. Right here, yeah. So with our side bend, we're going to put our feet together, legs together, reach our arms overhead, and we're going to drop our right arm down to the side. Perfect. And then now we're going to take our left arm and reach and lengthen, and we're going to kind of exhale as we slowly, gently bend down to our right side. Everyone feel that stretch?
If anyone feels off balance, don't push yourself too far. Good job. You guys look great. Are you feeling it? Yeah.
Perfect.
Great.
Now let's do our left side as well.
Oh my God.
drop our left arm, switch sides, yeah.
Oh, God.
Bend.
Perfect, you guys. Good job. Now Allie's gonna take you through.
Okay, so this next stretch is the overhead stretch. This can be applied to when you're grocery shopping and you need to get something high up off the shelf. If you're at your house and you need to get a book down, or you need to get something from your pantry. So it's pretty simple. I'm going to explain it really quick. You just take your right arm, lift it up overhead, and then take your left hand, place it on your hip to kind of give yourself some more balance. You really want to make sure you're stretching yourself and reaching up. Great job. Should feel this all along your side and your lats. Good job. Imagine you're grabbing that delicious soup and having it. Reach! Good job.
Good job, guys.
Okay, now we're going to switch. Take that right arm, put it down, and take the left arm, lift it up. Right hand on your right hip. Again, reach high. Maybe you're in your garden. You're picking an apple from the tree, right? Good job. Is everyone feeling it? Good. Is it uncomfortable for anyone? No? Great application. Yeah, remind you of your youth. Good job. Okay. This next stretch is going to require us to get on the floor, but before you move, we want you to stay standing up and watch us give you a demonstration and explanation to get to the floor, because we don't want any of you falling today. So Caroline will explain it while we demonstrate, and then I'll go ahead and explain the exercise for once we're down on the floor, and then we'll have you get down, okay?
We'll help you get back up after.
Yeah.
So, like she said, it's kind of not really an elephant in the room, but we're aware that some of you guys have had recent surgeries or haven't really been super limber lately. So getting up and off the ground, or getting down to the ground, can be a challenge. So what I'd like you guys to do is start by standing up tall, and just kind of from the top of your head all the way down, just let yourself really relax, and kind of fall forward a little bit.
Remember, just watch.
Yeah, let's watch this. Like they're doing, falling forward. And then as soon as your pelvis tells you to stop, start bending at your knees. And then with your dominant hand, reach across and put it down in front of you. And then from there, we're kind of going to do like a twisting motion. And just like Allie did, you're going to end up sitting on your bum, just like that. So we do recognize that this is a 180-degree turn, not 360. So in order to face us, we're all going to have to start facing the back wall. And another thing I'd like to say is that if you feel at any point that you might fall over, you might hurt yourself, please stop and grab one of our tensions, and we can also help you to the ground as well. So go ahead and give it a try, and we'll be walking around to help you guys get down safely. Allow your neck to kind of fall down.
Good. Slow. There you go. Are you right-handed or left-handed? Right. Okay, put your right hand on the ground. Good. Start to twist. Okay? Good job. Okay, we're all on the floor. How was that? Are you feeling more independent already? Yeah? Great. Okay, this next stretch is a hip rotator stretch. So we know that for most of you, your steps, as we saw, were a little short, maybe not as long as they used to be. So that can lead you to fall easily. So hip stretches are a very easy and preventative measure for falling. So this first stretch, they will demonstrate, and then you guys can go ahead and work on it. So you are going to lay flat on the ground, Kind of slowly bring yourself down when you do it. Make sure your head is comfortable on your mat, or not if you don't want it to be. And you'll have your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. We'll start with our right leg, and you'll kind of lift it up and place your right foot on your left thigh, up next to your knee. Then you can use your left arm and put it on the ground to help you be more balanced. You'll take your right hand and you'll push it on your right knee. You'll feel this in your glutes and your femoris muscles. So you'll do that, and then I'll cue you and you'll switch. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.
You help?
If you need any help, you get your leg up. Go there, honey.
And if you're not quite feeling the stretch, you can bring the foot that's planted on the ground closer to your tips.
Right arm. I know. Yes.
I forgot.
Okay, yeah. So take your right ankle and you'll place it right there on your opposite leg, so your left, and then you use your left arm down to balance. Put your right hand down. Did anyone else forget how to do this? I can go over it again. No?
Beautiful.
If even that's like a stretch, you can bring it.
Is everyone feeling it? Oh,
What's that made out of? How can I get that?
oh my God. You guys can
Ceramic.
follow along with Tyler did. A cozy dive in, get a deeper stretch. Okay, let's switch sides. So your left leg will be on your right this time. So if you want a deeper stretch, you're actually going to hold this leg in. I'm bringing That's a great idea. Celebrating Mary's 60th anniversary. It was like 30th. Does this feel good? If it's uncomfortable for anyone, how's it feeling for you? I know you just had this surgery.
Yeah, this hip is much more uncomfortable than the other one.
Okay, well, don't push yourself.
Not full.
Don't overdo it. We don't want you to dislocate it.
Modify.
So I don't know how to.
You know, your hair is so pretty. It reminds me of my granddaughter.
Oh, thank you.
I have a 19 cats. Okay, are we ready to move on to the next stretch? Let's go ahead and sit back up so we can see our demonstration. Would you like some assistance?
I got it.
You guys like
Help?
Good?
Okay, if I can have your attention back to the front of the room. Thank you. Okay, this next stretch is for your low back, and that probably sounds nice to a lot of you, right? So, this will help increase your range of motion in your spine and trunk. You won't develop that slouch. You'll be able to reach, have better posture. You'll obviously be feeling this stretch in your low back. So just like with the other stretch, we're going to lay flat down, watch the demonstration. And this time our legs are going to be fully extended. Again, make sure your neck and head is comfortable. And we'll start with our right leg again. Bend it and pull it in with your arms. You'll hold that until I cue you to switch. Are there any questions? Okay, go ahead and lie on down. We'll be rotating again to make sure you're doing it right and feeling it right.
You all feeling the stretch?
I don't quite have hip strength to get this up.
Well, you know, if that's your
Like-
hurt hip, she'll assist you. Okay, we don't want you to hurt yourself. You feeling it?
What?
I thought they're still teaching this. Okay, go ahead and switch. Left leg. A lot of schools.
Arm workout.
That is actually
Do you want me to help? Is that what you're saying? I would love to help you.
To get him off that iPad.
It's really bad.
Good.
Technology in the use.
I want you to keep this leg on the ground in position as I stretch.
So fun.
Kart Mario.
Mario.
Mario Kart, that's what it is.
Yeah, get him to do Sudoku.
Yeah.
That brain going. Anyone else want a deeper stretch?
Is it looking great?
Okay, now go ahead and sit back up. Again, if you need help, we're here for you.
Brendan.
Taylor, I need life.
Or you can stay in Cobra, whatever works for you. You could shift back and forth between the two.
You guys are looking great. Looking more limber already.
Woohoo!
And for those of you in child's pose, if you just want to try to sit your butt back into your heels as best as you can.
Good job. If you're in child's pose and want a deeper stretch, you can come around.
Perfect.
The most important to keep.
How does that feel on your back? Yeah? Does it hurt? Good job, guys. So now Taylor is going to teach us how to get back up. You guys made it through.
Good
Get
job,
back.
you guys. You ready to learn how to get up safely?
Yes.
Yes. So, from this, I'll demonstrate, actually, I'll explain it, how to demonstrate it as well. So, we are in the prone position, most of us are. So what you're going to do is get back up into your quadruped position, which is being on your hands and on your knees as well. And what you're going to do from this is take your dominant foot and make sure to place it right between your inside your hand. Is what you're going to do. Just like that, repeat wonderfully. You're going to take both hands, put it on your thigh, and from that position, all you're going to do is you're going to push up and you're going to stand. Beautiful, right?
So for this, if any of you guys do feel hesitant in pushing yourself up off the ground, please wait and we can come and help you get up as well. So,
Okay.
go ahead.
Questions? Anybody?
Okay, let's get back up to those.
So yeah, so go ahead and get in your quadruped position. Of course. Take your dominant foot.
Which one that is?
Your head.
Good job.
It's right here. Just right there. Both.
I did.
One hand here. Other hand there.
All right,
So next
I'll be
we're
going to catch you just in case. There you go. Nicely done. I got it here.
Right here. You okay? You got it. Look at you. Come on. You do, Patrick. There you go. Now push. Push. Oh, beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Everyone, one step closer to independent movement. So, just to summarize what we did today, we worked on 8 different exercises to increase your range of motion. There was the chest exercise, the shoulder stretch, wrist flexor stretch, side bend stretch, overhead stretch, hip rotator stretch, low back stretch, and abdominal stretch. Well done on all of those. As we taught you, they can be applied to so many different ADLs. Like when you're grocery shopping, chasing your kids, writing your letters, walking your daughter down the aisle, everything. So we also hope that this kind of ignited a spark for motivation of movement again, realizing that you're still fully capable of moving, even if it takes a little bit slower. So we finally also touched on getting up and down as safe and preventative ways to prevent a fall or to get up if you have fallen. So well done. That was very great. We look forward to our next class where we'll do more flexibility work. Are there any questions about today? No? Okay, then I'm going to ask you a question. I would like to know from 2 or 3 of you, I'll probably just call on you if that's okay, what the hardest exercise was. So Michael, do you want to share?
Yeah, the stretch on your back from the knee to the chest was hard for me because of my surgery.
The low back stretches, okay. Allison?
That one where you cross your leg.
Hip flexor?
Yeah. I wasn't sure if I was gonna get back up after that one.
Okay. Well, you did. And yes.
I can't really hear, so when I see the visual representations of what you guys are doing, it helps me because, you know, my auditory's in there, but visually I can see.
Okay, well make sure you're towards the front of the class more next time so you can see better too. Yeah. That brings up a great point. If any of you are impaired with hearing or vision, please let us know so these can all be effective exercises for you. And I think they have some questions also.
What was the most fun thing you guys did today? What are you most...
Finishing.
Finishing? Good. Hey, you're there. We're all there. Anybody else?
Who enjoyed the warm-up walk?
I love it.
Yeah.
Music, that was real great.
I was going to say the conga line.
Yeah.
Brought back the
Such a
old
weird
memories.
band.
I haven't been down on the ground in a while, so that was nice to kind of be down there. It's scary, you know, to be down on the ground as an old person.
Yeah.
All right, well, one final round of applause for everyone. You guys... Switching gears real quick back to our 20-year-old selves. Did any of you guys think, or were working on a movement and you didn't think it would be difficult for an older adult? And if so, which ones do you think you kind of take advantage of maybe in our youth?
I think like the ones on our backs, something that we don't think about is like how our spinal cord like is still, for the most part, pretty good.
Yeah.
And like with older adults, it's a lot of.
I love my grandpa a lot, and like never does he, like I think if he were to sit on the ground, he couldn't sit holding it, even if he was crisscross or anything. And especially like the hip things, like just bringing your leg up over, like I don't think he could do that for the last 40 years. So like,
Yeah.
I think those are.
Yeah, just like bringing your legs up. Like we can take advantage of like being able to do whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't realize it. And then like working as a PTA now, you have to like really help them like do anything with their legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, both my grandparents have the chairs where it like, brings them almost to standing, so I kind of take for granted like the sitting and standing up. I like that.
Yeah, those are also really good points. So